Hello, and welcome back to The Block on Reality Pop. I'm here with my co-host, JoJo, who's impersonating who? Who are you impersonating today?
Our latest evicted house guest, Josh.
Josh. But I'm your host, Chantel Francis, and here with JoJo slash Josh, talking about Big Brother Canada 9, Episode 5, Eviction. So, in the US, eviction night is a live eviction. So I don't know if things were different. I can't remember if they were still live COVID days, like in the summer for All Stars. But it used to be like a live thing. So at 8 p.m., or 5 p.m. Pacific, they would have their live eviction in the house. And Canada used to have at like 3 p.m., you can go and be in the audience for the live taping, and then it would be shown at 8 p.m. Eastern. So do you think that this was also still done in the afternoon, or do you think it was real time, or what do you think about the timing of the eviction episode?
I'm going to assume that they've stayed with their previous times, only because to get the show edited properly in case anything happens. Case in point, tonight's head of household, they cut off at a certain point. And of course, they're going to continue on with the competition and film for the next episode. But I think they probably go pretty early so that they can get home and get to bed at a reasonable hour.
Okay, reasonable. Yeah. But like it would be like 9 p.m.
Ooh, right in bed. Oh, all this tonight too. All the sleepers, all the sunsetters.
All the sunsetters are early sleepers. Well, we know though that like Tara's a mom, and moms usually wake up pretty early, having to get their kids to school, maybe make breakfast and stuff like that, or get themselves ready for work. Who knows? And then Dolores is giving us the tea. Dolores says taped in her opinion. Yeah, I think it is taped, but I kind of wish it wasn't. Like, I don't know.
There's something about live television that's really gripping, and like you get a slip of a curse word here and there, or like a shaky cam, or like they're centering in. They're really finding them. I love the live. I always love the eavesdropping on the house guests while someone was evicted, and we're seeing what's happening, the reaction inside.
Dolores, don't tell us yet. We're going to get through the recap, and then I will let people go if they don't want any spoilers, and then you can spill the tea, if that's okay with you. Thank you.
Literally spill that tea.
Oh, it's a big teapot.
Just got it from my mom. It's cute.
So cute. I feel like you
Pioneer woman.
You should start like painting teapots like while you're out visiting fam.
It's okay.
Yes.
I actually am painting gnomes at the moment. I'll show you later.
like the Travelocity gnome on Amazing Race?
Yeah, I'll show you now. I said I'll show you later, but I'll do it now. Look at these cute gnomes.
You now reminds me of Tace's punchline last week. Oh, I want to play.
I know, 3D plaster craft kit. I'm going to paint these bad boys, but I'm thinking about I'm going to do something funky with them.
Maybe you need to start like TikTok and like be doing that on TikTok.
I think I'm too old for TikTok.
Okay, wait, hold on. B-Bean, hi B-Bean. Okay, what are you saying? With that hand signal, they should have called themselves the Sleepers, LOL. Did they have a hand signal that I missed?
Yes, tonight during the vote, not each, but most of them were doing this.
Oh, that's what you're doing. This.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. So what, they're sleeping people home? Like,
yeah, it's sunset. It's time for them to go to bed.
People to sleep?
Yes.
In their own bed?
Assisted sleeping.
I mean, sleepers is good too, because like sleeper agents, like I love the idea of a sleeper agent that becomes active and like all of a sudden they're ready to kill. Like I don't know if you guys have watched Battlestar Galactica. Well, it's like they had all these sleeper agents that become Cylons when they're like activated. I think that's kind of a badass name, sleepers.
Sleepers. Don't sleep on the sleepers.
Exactly. Don't sleep on them. Mm-hmm. Dolores says, you have the cutest things, JoJo.
All cute.
He's from the East Coast, like Tina. And so, he's supporting Tina. I can't do the East Coast accent. I'm sorry.
Okay. You tried.
Sorry. First, something of business is, what did you think of Arissa's outfit?
I'm so happy you said something because I was dying to talk about it. I love the color combination of pink and orange together. I did not care for her outfit tonight. I thought it was ill-fitting. Her makeup was great. Her hair always looks good.
I
I
thought
liked
her
her pumps.
shoes were amazing.
They
Those
were amazing.
made her arch look gorgeous. Her legs look awesome. I like the color combination too, especially the hot pink, one of my favorite colors. But I didn't like the ruffle thing around the bottom. It looked like it was like a stiff and like I don't know if it was like knit or like I wasn't a fan either. And it was kind of like the print was kind of 60s-esque, but
And it wasn't like a shift dress. If it was a shift dress, maybe that could have been cool. If it was like just baby whatever, it just didn't work. And she usually looks so good in everything. Every episode, I'm like, yes, yes.
Oh my god, hippie much? Yeah, it was a bit hippie, but like not in a way that I really liked.
No.
Oh my god, I would never see flowers in her hair though. I don't think she would be doing that.
I would have loved like a side, like big old braided, flowery accessory.
But not with that outfit.
No, it would have made it a million times worse. And so I could comment on that even more so.
So I was just thinking that I'm like, I haven't been commenting on her outfits because they're usually just like awesome.
Yeah.
But this one I was like, oh.
I'm glad you brought it up because I thought it immediately. I'm like, no, Arissa, what are you doing? Someone change what she's wearing. Quick.
I know, please. But yeah, I did write down that I love the super high pink shoes. I would like to know where she has got them from.
I'll find out.
So Josh, he has no problem blowing up people's games or whatnot. Toya wants Josh to go. Toya also promised Rohan that she wasn't going to vote him out. Mm-hmm. And I wish that she hadn't have locked in that 100% so early. Now, I know she probably believed it, but maybe to say something more like, I have no intention of voting you out this week. Like,
yeah,
something like that, where she's not, I promise to never vote you out, or I promise that I'm voting out Josh. Like, she made it very cut and dry that I think that gave her less flexibility, because I know she's like, her word is her bond, and if she's loyal and she doesn't want to break her word, at least not this early in the game. And so I do wish that she hadn't said something so definitive to him so early in the week.
Yeah, phrasing is everything, especially in the Big Brother house, the words you use. Even during the big house meeting today, during tonight's episode, when Josh said, like, you agreed with me, Austin, she might have shaked her head, but she never said yes. So about the Pretty Boys 2.0. So there is phrasing that you can use, and especially as a cop, you would think that she would be pretty on top of what is to be said. So I would have liked her phrasing to be different to Roe this week, just because you never know, things can change. We know that a flip almost happened, so you want to be flexible enough.
With people that she doesn't know that well, like she's known them for 2 weeks. Like, you don't need, and he's not her number one ride or die. No. So like, to swear 100% means that you pretty much have to go that way, or you just look like your word isn't valuable to everybody else going further in the season. So it just put herself in a kind of a bad situation, I believe. So she couldn't change her mind if she wanted to. Arissa is greater than Julie Chen. I will agree. And BB, and I don't know if you know this, but I went to high school and middle school with Arissa. So I've known her actually since I was 9 years old. She's a year older than me, and she was an art major and I was a dance major. So we went to school the whole time. So I know her kind of like, when you know people by their first and last names when you're in middle school, because it's like, everybody's first and last name. So like, she knows me as Chantel Francis.
Yes.
Cox. Like,
is Cox her maiden name?
That's her
name. Yeah.
That's all. I've only ever known her as that name.
Love it. It's Arissa with one S, B Bean, just so you know in the future.
True. One S. Solamente uno ese. Okay, so it was really awkward when Rohan and Kyle were having a conversation in the washroom, and then slowly Josh walks in and he's like, "Oh, Block Brothers," says Kyle, and like, Josh didn't acknowledge them, goes, I guess, into the washroom or whatever, and they just leave. Like,
But like maybe Josh had to poop really bad, and he was just like,
I
"I'm sent. I need to go."
Well, I just wish that he didn't make himself out to be such an outcast and that people didn't allow him to continue to play that role. Um, because I actually like Josh more than I like some of the other people so far in the house. And with how things are going to go down this week, this episode, I kind of think that we might not like the gameplay as much as we would if he was there. It seems kind of we're the good guys, get out the bad guys is starting. Yeah. And those people usually start to annoy me and I start wanting to go against them. So I don't know.
I mean,
okay.
Josh has fed us for how many days now? When I'm checking updates, Josh, what is Josh doing? What is he saying now? How is he trying to pivot here? How is he trying to navigate this game to be here next week? I thought his plea was great. Yes, he made a point of saying that he was a lone wolf in his pre-interviews, and I really think that was the case. Whatever happened, though, day 3, I'm dying to know. I want to see his meltdown so bad.
I know, and it's kind of like it's dictating the entire game. So the Julie going out, and now how this week goes down is really dependent on day 3. And we're never been shown day 3 on a show that's you're supposed to see what happens in the house.
Yeah, give us a flashback, big brother. We want a flashback.
Just a flashback. We're not even asking for the whole day. Just a flashback. Yes. The Coles Notes version of his breakdown or his meltdown.
Yes, just a quickie. Maybe he'll talk about it in post-show interviews.
That's true.
I hope so.
Maybe they didn't want to share it because maybe it was too unhinged.
Oh God, that makes me want to see it even more.
fair. So I felt bad for Josh because I think that I would probably want to try to work with him. I mean, he might be too much of a social piranha, but like, I like him and I like the way he was thinking and I like the way that what he was strategizing to do to stay in the game. Like I liked that. And so I think that with proper guidance, he could have probably done okay. And the proper guidance would be not necessarily teaming up with Julie in the beginning, who was like a bit of a gossip that however she blew up your game or said something you said, like it just got that ball rolling of him being a blabbermouth about like this Pretty Boys 2.0. So I like Josh. This is I picked him on my team.
Yeah.
Because I was hoping that he'd be able to assimilate. I was hoping. He's like lying in bed in the bedroom and talking to himself in the live feeds, which I like because I want to know what people are thinking inside their head, but also don't like because you always see him alone talking to himself and everybody else is kind of experiencing Big Brother. So I didn't like that. And he wished he had somebody to bounce ideas off of. And I think that's one thing that's really important in playing Big Brother types games is having a soundboard of like what my idea is. You think I should do this? Like, will that work on this person? Like, what do you think this person's perception of me? And you can get somebody else to color your opinions a little bit. So that's not just tunnel vision, your perspective, your rose-colored glasses or not,
Yeah.
So I wish that he had a ride or die in there because it would be, if he had one ride or die or one ally, I think he could have flipped the vote.
I mean, there is something, especially starting at 14, there is something about targeting the obvious choices at the beginning. And I think that is always the wrong way to go about it. I really would have loved Austin to say, hey, Josh, how can we flip this? She doesn't want to be his target. She doesn't want to be whoever's staying's target. So the first person that you put up on the block that is staying on the block is going to be really happy with you if they stick around for the week. So make that happen. Me too.
Me too. That's so cute, Dolores.
It's my last name, O'Toole.
Oh, you tool, me tool, she tool. I kept hearing people in the feed saying that we have to remember day 3. I'm dying to know what happened day 3. Day 3. Yes, it's just wrong. Maybe Josh will spill the tea. Hopefully, I will be looking to see if there's exit interviews and stuff like that where he gives some more info.
We'll go on TikTok.
Yes, a Josh head of household would have been explosive. That would have been that I'd be salivating over a Josh head of household. Like they took out the one person that was going to make it interesting. Most likely, it might end up just being, a big clobbering of one big alliance, taking out all the extraneous people, and then can cannibalize. It might end up happening.
Yep, sorry. Yay.
That's why the first head of household can be important. Josh might have aligned with others then. Yes. It really, it messed up things, him being in the
Defenders.
Yeah, the Defenders team. They lost twice. He wasn't in a good position. Like if they had won and somebody else, and then people would be campaigning to him and talking to him in a different way, not like he was always going to be a potential target. So the twist kind of screwed him, especially since he's already a lone wolf and didn't allow him the opportunity to get to know people really without already being a target.
Josh, I would have stayed in bed with Josh every day. Would have been his number one.
His little undies.
Yeah. Oh, they were so cute yesterday. I was like, yes, talk to Kiefer in your undies. I love this. Perfect. Get
he
it.
wants to start some chaos though. You are a friend of starting chaos. That's you like doing that a little bit.
I do.
What do you think of that strategy for Josh? You think that that's his best year?
I don't know if Jed was the right person to go to create chaos because he is so beloved, and Jed literally sat there and had to say 2 words, and the eruption happened with Austin and Josh. I think Josh could have made something up about Rowan instead and said like, hey, he came to me with an alliance on day 7 and he's saying that these 3 people are controlling the house and you 3 are together and this is what's happening and he's this big like player. Why aren't we targeting him?
The reason why he went with Jed is there were some nibblings of truth. Like Austin did not, right?
Okay, yeah.
Did say certain things like we saw in the flash, or inflate his belief that she meant these things. And I didn't think, just if we skip a little bit forward to when the blow up actually happened, I don't think that she sold it that well that she didn't say these things. I thought that she came across as looking like, oh, like whatever, everybody hates you anyways, so like I can say whatever I want and nobody's gonna believe you.
You're the bad guy here.
Yeah, it's like, why would I say that? You're the one that's on the block, Josh. So if like I believe that, then why wouldn't I have put up Jed? Like, but that's not really a good argument. It's like he was talking about the fact that you were considering putting up Jed.
Yeah.
And that you don't know if you could have taken, if you had the numbers to vote him out yet. And
truth.
It's true.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I thought that personally, it made Austin look pretty bad. What do you think?
I don't know. I do struggle with that argument only because if I was head of household and you were my target and you came to me and said, but Tara is this, this, or this, I might say to you, yeah, like, but I can't get Tara out because of the votes. It could have been an excuse to just not even like feed into that conversation. So I don't know necessarily if she was actually interested in putting up Jed. I think putting up Jed would have been huge, and I would have supported that, even though it is week 2. Start a shitstorm. Why not? Do what you want to do. I don't get this, like, the fact that Josh went out on Austin's head of household, unless it sets up Austin well for the next coming weeks, then it might be a success. But that's not something we're going to know until week 4, week 5, and what's happening then.
So are you a fan of the ball pit or no?
Oh, I'm a huge fan of Victoria. I love her. I love that meme of Toya like going down into the balls and they're rising around her, and it's like my anxiety, my this, my that. I thought that was a great meme.
So
yes, of course.
A Brett Roster
Pop star. No, it's nobody's birthday, so I don't know about that lie for Josh. The ball pit, I think the ball pit would just stress me out. I don't know if I could sleep in that. I'm not sure how that works. I'm dying to see have-nots so we can see what's happening there.
Like, is it just for them to have a ball pit, but there's not going to be any have-nots anymore? Like, what's the dealio?
Yeah, I really need to see them trying to sleep in it. Unless they have a mattress, like an air mattress they can sleep on top of.
Fun.
I would like that, but we'll see. I also think something's in there. I think there's a ball that has something in it.
Like a prize, like maybe it will be a head of household, like this one ball with $10,000 or a luxury prize.
Yeah, I hope so.
That'd be
I think there's something though. There has to be.
Well, yeah, so Victoria lost her slipper in the ball pit. They really like giving her these solo moments with the camera. They
Yes.
had the high-fiving for herself when she scored a goal in the hockey foosball thing.
Yeah.
Is it called hockey foosball or is it a hockey? What is it called?
Oh, I don't. I think it's foosball.
Isn't
I'm trying to think of my friend's knowledge.
soccer stuff? Or is it foosball like just kicking?
It's just a
That motion. So like
yeah,
either
it goes back and forth.
a foot is a foosball.
I think it's foosball.
Does any Bean
Help.
Dolores, is it a foosball table if it's hockey? That is the question.
Is it hockey themed?
So what did you think about never have I ever kissed somebody in the Big Brother Canada house?
Beth wasn't like, hey, kiss me. So part of me was like, that was coming on strong. I don't think I would just land my lips on someone. On national television. B, we're playing a game where people can go, oh my God, these two are kissing. Great. That's how close they are and how comfortable they are with one another. If I was Beth, I would have been pissed.
Well, she didn't seem pissed because she said,
no, I would.
Flirts
like, if it was real life, I'd be okay with it. I'd be like, yeah, kiss me, Jed. You're beautiful. But in game sense, I would not have been happy if I was Beth. No.
I mean, I think she's enjoying the attention. I don't think that she's that big of a gamer to be like, fuck, that's not a good idea. Don't make me look like I'm that liked by anybody. Stop it. Yeah. I'm cuddling with Ty, who she prefers to cuddle with over or like whatever relationship is brewing between the two of them or the three of them. She prefers hanging out with Ty more than Jed, unfortunately. But I'm sure she'll keep smooching whoever is coming at her with lippity lips. So Beth is super flirty. Yesterday, someone was suggesting that she could be considered as a poverty 2.0. What do you think about that?
I actually think Beth is playing a pretty good game. The first episode, I was shocked that the only mention of her in the diary room was a strategic conversation. So maybe she is able to wrap people around her finger. I don't necessarily think it's just men. I do think she has a good relationship with the girls, but like LaToya is concerned about Beth, and LaToya is really smart, so that makes sense to me that she would be able to focus in on and see someone that has power and knows what to do with it. Would I love a Poverty 2.0? Sure, give it to me.
Well, maybe this is like the start of it, like with her having two guys just like fighting over her.
Yeah, I hope all three of them date though. I would love a throuple. Yeah.
Little BB can throuple, little polyamory in the BB can house.
One can hope.
Laura says we call it foosball, meaning for hockey. Oh, foosball means hockey? I just always, whenever I've ever had a foosball table or I played one, it was always for soccer. So I didn't know the foosball.
Oh, you know what? I did have one, and they would slap shot instead. So they were on their side. And
but I guess my point is that there's no ball in hockey. So is it a foos puck?
It was like a puck, I guess.
Foos puck table. One. Is it a foos puck table?
Oh, I will never refer to it as that. No.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, it sounds like you're describing a foosball table. Anyways, foosball to me is soccer. I don't know if the hockey has a different name or if it's a hockey foosball table. You know, just
football, soccer.
Sorry, guys.
Hockey.
Okay, so actually, I'll pull that up after. So actually, no, it's kind of right now. So there's a new TikTok message, and we have Mitch Muffin, Sarah Hanlon, Anthony from the Pretty Boys, Adam Pike. Was there somebody else that I missed?
Cindy with an S.
Oh, I conveniently forgot about her. Fun fact. So she dated Nick's roommate.
She did.
Yeah, and so apparently, though, they just really didn't get along. She kind of talked about herself a lot.
Yeah, I served her once, and she was lovely, but Yeah, definitely talked about herself the majority of time. And I was like, is there an All Stars happening? Tell me. She's like, I don't know. There wasn't. It was season 6.
I also heard, because I work in the airline industry as well,
She
that
works for porn. I won't
yeah,
say it out loud.
yeah. So the airline that she was working for, there was a lot of people that knew her that didn't like that they knew her, and that she was not a fun porter or boss manager for the flights.
We'll talk later. I don't know if we've already talked about it, but
Well, just so you guys know why he's being so coy, is that his partner also works for the same airline as Miss. He's a pilot for the same one as Miss Cindy with an S. So we're 1 degree of separation away from Miss Cindy.
love.
I thought it was kind of fun to have this TikTok thing in there. It gives them something to do in the house. I get annoyed a little bit by the glaring sponsors, but TikTok as a sponsor, I like it better than Twisto's Twists.
Yeah.
Or like, was it the KFC? What was it last year when he got like the veto that allowed him to play in veto like it's supposed to be?
oh my God. What was that?
I can't remember what sponsor it was. But it just was like, oh, it was Wendy's. It was Wendy's.
Was it a Wendy's veto?
Yeah, it was a Wendy's veto. Yeah. Remember, they were really promoting Wendy's last year.
I will not say anything bad about Wendy's because Wendy's hired me last year for Big Brother Canada. So that was great for one episode. And then it was canceled.
Oh, that was such a bummer. Yeah. And so all of these house guests that came up in the TikTok messages were kind of giving some advice. So Mitch was saying, like, if you're going to be nominated, make sure that you kind of blow up the house and kind of make a strong, like, plea. I don't know if it's called a plea, but it's a big move. Sarah, I don't remember what she said. Do you remember what she said?
Oh, what did Sarah talk about? Sarah's so lovely. I don't think it was anything really extraordinary. No, I don't remember. I think I was looking at her hair. It's gorgeous.
And Anthony was talking about, like, you know, you might be making these like really cool alliances where you're gonna have to, like, you know, stab one of them in the back, and they showed the clip of him stabbing Adam Pike in the back, or like voting him out at finals.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you're stabbing him in the back. There's 3 of you left. One of you has to go. Don't feel bad, Anthony. I don't care for Anthony. We've already had this discussion. I don't like anyone from that season, but I've met him in real life, and I'm like, really?
Sorry, did you tell me go on?
Oh, I met him during actually season 8's casting call, and I'll spill the tea. He was like hitting on some girls in the lineup in front of me, and I'm like, this is cute, like this is fun. But then he started being like, who wants a photo with me? Who wants a photo? And I'm like, I don't. Sorry, Anthony. I didn't like you or your game, so I'm glad Dane beat you, whatever it was, whatever the vote was. And yeah, he was just like getting, I'll publicly say it, I'm fine with marijuana, it's great, but like he was smoking and like passing it off to people that were in the lineup. I'm like, these people are about to audition for Big Brother. Like, I don't know if they're gonna get, like, you're literally getting them fucked up. So this could not end well for some of these people. It was just not my favorite time. And he was definitely there, like getting paid to like show face.
Appearance, yes.
Yeah.
Appearance. It's one of contact to be like, you have to come and show face at the next
casting call.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's like I'm worried that he's watching. I'm like, sorry, Anthony, I just don't care for you.
I mean, maybe. What did he say?
Sorry?
Adam Pike, what did he say?
Oh, Adam Pike talked about things being maybe in the house that you should be aware of, maybe like finding any sort of power or twist that you can, yes, exactly, to look around the house and know your surroundings and be aware that Big Brother's always watching and all that good stuff.
Yeah, because in his season, what seemed to me like he came out of the diary room and he beelined to this room to go and search for something, and he wins secret power. But Dolores is saying, well, they were given a clue by Adam for them to look around the house because you never know what you're going to find, and nobody was looking around the house. That they've shown. Yes. I don't know if people might have found things and they're saving it for another episode. I mean, I know we watch the live feed, so chances are it hasn't been found yet, or But maybe they also just want people scrambling through the house for no reason and just torture them.
I want everyone in the ball pit just digging.
I'd be starting with the ball pit, and like I'd be separating those colors. I'd be counting those balls.
Oh my God, that's going to be a question for sure.
Like
how many balls
are in the ball pit? Like, you know that's happening. Count the damn balls, but
yes,
nobody's really doing that yet. But I think it's because they've had easy nominations because they've had very obvious targets. Only half the houses needed to play the game. And so nobody's really going to that extra level because they haven't had to yet. So I think personally this week is going to be better because everybody's going to be eligible. And like right now we don't know who, well, not yet, who the next head of household is. So I'm intrigued to see who that might be. And I hope that I bought some stocks in the reality stock watch.
Ooh.
And so I picked different people than maybe you'd expect.
Oh.
So the people I picked in the stock watch is Rohan, Tara, and Kyle.
I actually pegged Kyle and Tina to be the last two in the head of household competition. That is my prediction.
I would have bought Tina, but Tina, her stock was too high. I forgot to buy before the season started where you can get everybody at a low price. And now they've gone up in value. So Tina's at like $8 a share. And these people were at $4. So I was like, let me see if they will play well this week. Count the blue balls. Dolores.
Oh, Dolores.
What's BT&J is enjoying it?
BT&J.
That's book volumes. BT&J. Brayden. No, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Dolores. Okay, yeah. So I think Big Brother wants them to start like scrummaging through the house and like creating a mess and looking for stuff. Like get them just moving and thinking about the game, and then they'll finally place something in the house. Like I don't think that there's anything there right now, but they want them to start looking.
Sneak in.
The Sunsetters talk about maybe keeping Rohan. Well, Jed brings it to the Sunsetters. They're all sitting outside, and nobody was really going for it, but it was a pretty decent like suggestion. And he was just, from what I could see, he was just bringing it up. It's like, well, what if we decided to keep him? And LaToya was like, I promised him my vote, so I can't do that, which is understandable. And I don't think that they should hold her to voting with them if they decide to switch it. But then after Tina and LaToya have a conversation, and Tina feels like she's being strong-armed into decisions. So am I missing something? Oh, the threesome, Beth, Ty, and Jed. Okay, BT and J. Okay.
I like that, BT and J. I think, well, Tina was talking about more of it being she doesn't like being dictated or being part of a dictatorship, but she also wasn't there for the conversation. So maybe it was Toya's frustrations about how the conversation was going, or I believe on the live feeds, Kiefer was really back and forth about the flip. He was giving he would start off in the morning wanting Josh gone, and by the end of the day it was Ro every day. So I think there might have been some frustration there in general. I don't know if that conversation happened with Tina directly after the group chat, because Toya was in like a bathing suit. She was like going out to the hot tub, so it could have been later on. There might have been other things said. But I thought that conversation was more so to show us that those two are this, yes. And I do think they're solid, and I love that.
They're my favorite final two so far.
1,000%. And I remember during our cast assessment, Jonathan asked me, like, do you think Tina can win? I'm like, no, I don't know. This is the moment when I'm like, no, I actually think Tina is playing the game. I do think she's going to be a great player. I don't think she's just there as a personality or as an East Coaster. I think she's got a brain. I think she's using it. Everyone wants to align with Tina, which might get messy at the end for her. But right now, she's in a great spot. I love that.
She's not physically competitive necessarily. Like people are counting her out. So
they're not aware of her hockey playing.
Like, oh, you're gonna get like a random, like, shoot the puck into the net, and she's gonna win the head house, and be like, what?
Wow, she did that. She's in her 40s.
People still can move in 40.
Yes, very much so.
So Josh talks to Jed, and this is when he tells the whole thing about Austin and like the conversation that she's having. And then Jed takes this information to start a house meeting. Do you think it was a good idea for him to start a house meeting?
I don't think there was enough juice for a house meeting. If we get a house meeting every week, I'm going to be kind of annoyed. The purpose of a house meeting is for an eruption, for something to happen outside of this as a last case hurrah, like literally the last case scenario for you is to have a house meeting and to explode. Even if it burns down your game, you're going to burn down other people's houses. So I do love that aspect of house meeting. This was two people having a conversation in front of everybody else.
Well, and like Jed starting off like, if somebody like has been pitching for me to go up on the block, like, speak now.
Or
like or like
everyone's name has been said by now, I'm sure. In 12 days, I bet every single person's name has been said.
Everybody's name. That's just thinking through and options. Kind of like what Latoya said in the first speech is like, yeah, like there's only a few people to talk about, and you were one of them. Like,
yeah, we should all expect our names said during Big Brother.
Absolutely. So, and then Tara decides like, oh, yeah, I did say your name, but this is like, as a pawn. And I was like, you didn't know.
Just put it there. I'm here.
She did not need to say that, I don't think.
No. Maybe she was worried that it might come up, so she wanted to squash it right away and just own up to it and be like, yeah, I have, like, talking about a pawn.
Just did actually completely go to Austin. And so, yeah, you're right. If Austin was like, well, the only time I had that conversation was with Tara, and she brought it up as like a potential, and we just talked it out.
Yeah. But I also like Tara. I think Tara's playing a great game. I'm shocked, which is awful to say, but I'm like, she's aware of what's happening. It's not like she's just floating by and I'm there for the experience.
No, she wants to win for sure. I didn't like though with Austin was saying that like Josh deserves the entire fall. She's like, you deserve the entire fall. And I'm like, no, I don't think he deserves taking all the heat for everything. And you guys are putting a lot of extra heat on him that I don't think he actually deserves here.
I'm sure she doesn't actually think that. She's just stating like, he is my target. I'm going to throw him under the bus here because I do want him out of the house. Mm-hmm. So she's tunnel visioned on Josh being this bad guy and this is everything that he's done and this is the reason he needs to leave. Like stamping her foot down. So I understand that. I'm sure outside of the game, like, I think he even said it. He was like, she's so cute. I'm like, oh, I'm shocked that they're behaving like this towards one another.
I know, but it's just like, it would have been different if he wasn't on the losing team.
Yeah, I agree.
So Josh pitches to the Sunsetters and plus Tara and minus Beth. And I thought that his pitch was pretty good. He's suggesting that, hey, keep me around, use me as a pawn. I'll go up, and so you don't have to nominate 2 new people every week. Like, I'll be the bad guy. I'm always going to be a target. Like, these are all very good things to say. I thought that it was a good pitch. I probably would be like, we should maybe keep him. I think he's right here because Rohan, if he's that likable and everybody, like, if you have anybody that can get a unanimous vote, it usually means that they're pretty well situated. And so I don't know how safe maybe anybody but Latoya is going to be if Rohan gets that head of household. Like, I don't know who he would actually nominate. And I do feel like we do know who Josh would nominate because he said Austin, and it'll probably be like somebody that
one of the boys. Yeah. Well, unless he named one of both the boys for that plea, for that pitch. I don't know. I now that Roe has been up there, I think he might be an automatic nominee next week. I think he'd be a really easy nominee for a majority of the people playing. Maybe not for Kyle or Tara, but people can say like, well, you stayed unanimously last week, and my target is the other person, when in actuality, who knows who it will be.
Who knows? So Latoya's police instinct is kicking in here, and she believes that there is an ounce of truth, and there is an ounce of truth.
Yes.
He's not completely lying. He may be inflating the truth. He might be inflating conversations to make it look worse than they actually were. But I'm glad that she's noticing that maybe Austin's not fully telling the truth here, and just because Latoya has a pretty good read, right?
Yeah,
It's not
very
gonna
good so far.
Austin, I don't think. I think that this house meeting might end up blowing up Austin's game because I don't know if people will fully trust her, especially not Latoya.
I don't know where Austin's really fitting in right now because she's leaving the first head of household without a strong alliance, without a ton of deals put into play, without like the majority of people saying like, yeah, we're not going to put you up next week if we win head of household. I don't know if she really used the week to her full advantage. And I would have liked to see that from anybody.
I think it's because of the team twist.
Can we just skip to the fucking end of this episode with the fact that the team twist is no longer a thing?
Thank you.
2 weeks, big brother. What was the point of this?
I didn't care for it at all. I know some people, maybe it's interesting to have people really gutting for it the first week. So maybe just do it 1 week. You don't need to do it 2.
No.
Like, I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't like having such a small pool of people that were already considered the outcast because they were the losing team the first week. Like, it's just going to make it. Rohan's definitely going to still be, as we just talked about, a potential nominee. I think that anybody on Team Defenders, people will automatically just want to put them up because they'll be an easy target. Like they were always they're always kind of a pawn, you know?
Yes.
So it might be difficult for some of them to get out of that stigma. That's the stink of being a nominee, stink off of them, you know?
Yes.
Definitely a wasted HOH. Yes, BB.
Yep.
Wasted. Boring.
And then we fast forward to the end of the game, and it's like Austin's played the best game of all time on Big Brother.
I don't think it's possible. I don't think she has it in her, to be honest. I like her, but I don't think she has it the best game ever in her. Mm-mm. I think people can pull a fast one on her pretty easily. I think she can get blindsided pretty easy. Yeah, I think so. So Josh made a pretty good last plea. They are all kind of agreeing, like, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. I haven't paid attention to the feeds of the last couple of days, but I heard it was going back and forth and flip and flop. I believe Dolores yesterday was it Dolores? Somebody was saying yesterday in my challenge fee podcast that they're flip-flopping like they're in the gymnastics, like in the Olympics for gymnastics. So many
2021 Olympics, Tokyo.
And so, yes, they're flip-flopping. Sorry, Dolores said, do you really think that the flip almost happened, or do you think production told them that they were making it look too easy?
I think it actually happened.
Yeah.
From what I saw, I was like, oh my God, I'd be checking Twitter every once in a while. I'm like, okay, so that is what's happening now. Great. Rose going. Cool.
So yeah, I did hear it was flipping back and forth. I wish that production would show how much back and forth it was flipping, and then be like, oh, I don't know who it is, because I was pretty solid from the information that they gave us that Josh was going home for the most part. Like I was like, I know they had a segment where like that's a good plea, but they didn't sell it, you know?
No,
so I would have
not enough.
More back and forth, and then I'd be like, oh, I don't know. Is it? Oh, let me see Rohan do a little plea here and plea there. So I wasn't so like I figured that Josh was gone.
Yeah.
Like, boo. So Dolores has a feeling the production saw how much people were hating the team twist and decided to break it up. I'm sure that they had it planned only for 2 weeks.
But what if it comes back like randomly?
No.
Week 8, 4 and 4.
No.
I don't want that to happen, but that's something shitty that Big Brother Canada can do. Don't listen. Don't listen.
So Nothing surprised me. Kyle's go in, says Josh. Brayden goes in, says Josh. We knew that they were going to say Josh's name for sure because Kyle is best friends with Rohan so far, and Brayden's best friends with Austin.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, it depends on what Kiefer does here. If Kiefer says Josh, then Josh is done for sure. And he says Josh, and I was like, okay, it's going to be unanimous. Okay. So it was unanimous that Josh was evicted. I didn't really write that much about his interview with Julie. Did you have anything that stood out? No, Julie, with Arissa. Anything that stood out to you?
He pretty much covered it that day 3, his meltdown kind of, he felt like really took him away from the group, and he was playing as a lone wolf, la-di-da. My issue was with the unanimous vote. I think this would have been a great week to throw a couple votes on Roe just to get shit stirring. Why not? I think that would have been, I would have much preferred, especially the way Victoria did it. She might not have been aware that the vote had changed to Julie leaving, but it was nice to have a hinky vote, or the idea of a hinky vote. I would have loved it to be an 8-2 vote for Josh to go, so Ro can think 2 of these people have voted me out and 2 people are lying to me.
Yeah,
that would have been beautiful. And it could have been Tara. It could have been the least suspected person, maybe Kyle, just to get it out there.
I don't know if I could be in the house having made a hinky vote. I think that I wouldn't be able to lie to people's face. I'd be like, it wasn't me. I'd be like, no, I voted out Josh.
I think maybe you need like a little bit more blood around, or like a little more ill feelings around to sell something like that.
Like in person, I don't know.
Like All Stars 22, it helped when I think Enzo did it a couple times, and it did mess with people, and I did like that. So
no, geez, this is my first BB Cats. Looking forward to the game. Yes, we are looking forward to the game as well. Yes. We lost 2, I think, very interesting characters in the first 2 weeks. They're both fire signs, which I think is very interesting. I was mentioning this yesterday. So there's no air signs in the house. So air signs are like me, and like Jonathan, where we're very heady and we think about things, and we're not emotional, generally speaking, in how we play the game. So the fact that there's no air there, I think, is pretty much why people like Julie and Josh didn't do well, because you have water. What has happened within the elements? Water puts out fire, or fire makes water boil. They just don't work. They're compatible, but they don't work well elementally. And then if you think of dirt, dirt puts out fire, and so it just stops the fire from being able to express itself fully. So it's just elementally they're not working well together. So I wouldn't be surprised then, just from the house dynamic, if Tina, because Tina is a Leo as well, if I'm not mistaken, and Kiefer might start getting some heat maybe a little bit later on, because they do have that fire out energy in them. Because I think those, and Beth is also a Leo. Everybody,
I see all of that happening. Yes,
I feel like they would
for
be
all 3.
The people that came to bubbling up to the surface first, of people wanting to get them out. And I think it's because there's a lot of earth and water signs in there. Pisces, they're just more emotional in a different way than these fire signs. And I think they're outnumbered, and they don't have the air signs to elevate the fire.
Damn it. You need to be hired by Big Brother Casting next season, just to create that.
Well, Jonathan and I were talking yesterday about maybe having Big Brother the elements, or Big Brother the zodiac signs, and so one person from each sign would be represented, and then maybe 4 more for one of each, earth, fire, water, air.
And they're secret. We don't know what their sign is.
Oh, the other 4?
Yeah.
That would work too. Just to see a real astrological warfare, which would be so fun. Leos are so cool. What are you again, Dolores? I forget.
Quick, Dolores, get those fingers typing.
And BB, what is your sign again? Or when's your birthday? JoJo's a Taurus, but we won't hold it against him.
Thank you. Press it against me.
So yes, Arissa really didn't want him gone. I think that she's a fire sign, so she probably appreciates some of like the energy that he's bringing in the house. And you obviously just don't want the house target to go home. It's so boring. I want him to stay.
Yuck.
So they started a new competition, and Lotto Max is the sponsor, apparently.
Yes.
Speaking of Lotto Max, I did a Lotto Max commercial many years ago where they actually flew me to Morocco for a week. And basically what we did was supposed to be flying on a private jet. And then we took our Jeeps and we were just driving around different sand dunes. And then we played volleyball on the top of a sand dune. And because it's so hot over there, we were allowed to be outside for 1 hour at sunrise and then 1 hour at sunset. And I know how to play volleyball in an audition, but I'm like, oh, yes, high five, None of us really knew how to play volleyball. I got lessons. So I'm like, I don't know how to play volleyball, so let's do this. So I did get lessons, but I'm still not good. And they wanted us to be we're professional volleyball players, and they didn't want the ball to go out the shot because they're doing a huge aerial shot.
Yeah.
And so it was so stressful. But that's
that is not fun.
What I imagine about Lotto Max is doing a Lotto Max commercial where I couldn't play volleyball, and the line producer was like, "Don't drop the ball," because they'd had to go out and be sweeping sand to make this perfect aerial shot, and we're just not good.
That's a mess. They could have had body doubles come in.
I mean,
play for them.
They should have, but they hired us because they thought that we're good at volleyball by our audition. We sold it. Oh. We sold it. So, Gemini. Oh my God, I love you guys. Yes, that's why we get along so well. Bean. So yeah, I'm Aquarius, and Michelle, that you know from the challenge, she's Sagittarius. Fanta, we still love her, but she's a Virgo. And obviously we love Leos there, Miss Laura. So me and you get along really well because we're on the same polarity line. You're my opposite. Just saying. Oh. Okay, so Lotto Max Dream Coach comes on the screen, and basically, he gets a nice paycheck to be on. Damn it! I want to do that. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I've auditioned. I think I had a Lotto Max audition a couple months ago, and I had to be a painter, and it was so cute. I had my paintbrush and my work, and I sort of splatting the paint instead of doing a landscape.
Oh. Married to an Aquarius. When is his birthday if it's a he? Don't want to assume these days. Don't want to assume. I love Aquarius because we're the best. Just saying. I would love for you to be on a Lotto Max commercial. That'd be really fantastic.
I'll take it. How did you do with the head of household? I wish that they kept the images on the screen for the same amount of time that the host gets to see it.
Exact thing. Anyways, that was my biggest thing about it. I'm like, okay, we are all
play at home,
like games and playing games. So if you're doing one where we can actually see what the house guests see, I want to be able to guess these answers as well. I don't need to see their reactions. I don't want the front shot of Kiefer looking at a screen. I don't need to see that at all.
Give me what they're seeing and let me guess true or false.
Please. So I was really annoyed by that because I was like, I'm trying to look at everything, and it was for a second.
I think the first one I got right because I did see the umbrellas and the odd numbers of the cars I knew, but everything else was too fast.
Well, I wasn't sometimes I was counting the top stuff or the bottom stuff for the time they gave us.
Yeah, not enough time.
But I think that they gave the house guests an appropriate amount of time. Ooh, February 13th. It's Valentine's Day, hubby. Ooh. Very sweet. Very cute. So the only thing that really was exciting about this for me was that it was a knockout competition right away.
Yep.
So with that, meaning that if you got the question correct, you would choose, your opponent would be out, and you would choose the two other people that would be going up and battling off. So it shows where alliance lines are drawn by who you decide that you like, one of the two of them can't be in this anymore, and like you're going to send one of them out.
Yep.
So I thought it was a little bit telling. So we had Kiefer versus Ty. Kiefer wins. He puts Tara and Brayden, which I was like, okay, shows that they're not in the Sunsetters.
Yep.
Tara wins that one. Puts up Jed and Beth, which I was like, interesting.
Couple.
Jed wins that and puts up Victoria and Tara again.
Yeah, Tara going up double is not a good that for me was oof.
It's like that.
If I was Tara, I would have been nervous.
Yes, depending if Jed won, I'd be like, okay, I'm going up on the block.
Yep.
That's what I would be thinking. And then Victoria wins that one and puts up Kiefer and Rohan. And that's all we know because, Lord of mercy, there was no darn winner.
I yelled at the screen. I said, you gotta be kidding me. Yelled. Why do you do this to us, Big Brother Canada?
I hate that.
Just let us know who won the fucking challenge so we can think like, okay, so we have this many days to figure. I don't want to have to go to Twitter and find out. Just tell me. I'm going to know tonight.
We're going to know right now.
Show it to us.
We're going to know right now.
This is not an endurance where like it's going to be set several hours after the episode is finished. This could be shown, so do it.
Please just show it. And especially if you're not showing the entirety of the screen so we can play along with you, that means you're trying to speed through it. So let us see the competition, and also please just let us have a winner at the end of the episode. Just please. Thank you.
Next week, please.
So if this is all you want to know about this episode, you might want to sign off now because we're just going to talk to Miss Dolores over here in the chat room and find out who the new head of household is. So if you do not like spoilers, there is a spoiler coming your way right now. So thank you for joining us here on The Block with Reality Pop. And we'll see you on Monday where you can find out the head of household results without being spoiled like we're about to right now. So, Dolores, you are up. Who is the new head of household?
Nervous.
Does she
know?
us the tea. Give us the tea. Give us the tea. Give us the tea. Give us the tea. On Bigo, which is like a streaming app. My name is Miss T.
Miss T. Do you see it? Oh, yes!
Oh!
Yes. I actually had a feeling. I didn't want to say it. I should have said it. I should have just said it. Wow.
Very interesting. So...
I love it.
Okay, so let's just do a little mini... immediate thoughts. Okay, obviously you're very excited about this. Is she on your team? No. Yes.
No, I just love her.
Why B-Bean? Why
Who's she gonna target?
So who is she gonna put up?
I think she's gonna put up 2 defenders.
Well, Jed might be. She put her up.
If she puts up both the I think she could put up. I think she could. I will not be shocked.
But I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't from that conversation that they had, the 4 people of color that were discussing hair, that may not feel right for her.
Fair. But I don't know. I don't think she'll put up any of. Bye.
Hold the phone.
No, I'm not okay with this. No. Not okay with this. No.
The pot will be stirred. Tara is her target. Who's she planning on putting up next to her? Rohan? That's the only person that she's close to right now.
I'm not okay with this. I do not like reading this, Dolores.
What happened to your excitement of Victoria?
I am no longer excited for Victoria.
Yeah, so Tara and Rohan, they are the closest, like, that's her closest person, I think, overtly. But I do think that Latoya would put in work to save her. Tara, Latoya wants Tara to replace Beth in the Sunsetters. She
Yes.
has more conversations with her. They're more in the same age bracket and they have similar likes and dislikes. So I think if it was the two of them at the end of the week, I do feel that Tara would stay. I don't think that Rohan has enough social capital, and he might have used it all this week. Yeah. I mean,
Highs and lows. Highs and lows.
it really sucks that somebody from Team Destiny won again.
I love it. I actually prefer. I think maybe it's because there's just more females on Team Destiny, and I really just want some men taken out. Get out of here. Go. Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want the girls to slay it.
Oh man, so that wasn't what I was expecting. I like the fact that Victoria won here, but I'm not loving the fact that Tara's her target. I want to know why. And who do you think her replacement nominee would be if it's
Kyle?
Kyle? Ooh.
Probably Kyle, in my opinion. But I also don't know, like.
Isn't it always? Isn't it always?
I would assume Kyle, but I don't know what Victoria and Kyle's relationship is like.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen them talk on the show, at least.
I don't even know who she talks to. So yeah, I don't really see her putting up Jed, even though he put her in the knockout. I could see if she's gutting for Tara, Rohan would be the best person to put up next to her. Is Rohan going to be the perpetual pawn? Probably, but he's probably going to go home this week, so won't be perpetual. It'll just be two-timer pawn, yeah. Unless he wins the veto. But I don't see him making it out. His game so far isn't that good. Ooh, yeah, maybe Kyle, Beth. Ooh, Beth would be smart.
Beth would be really smart.
I mean, Beth has her fingers in a lot of cookie jars. So, yeah. Well, this is the end of our recap. Thank you for the tea, Dolores. I'm surprised. JoJo also seemingly very, very surprised.
I want to get on this bad. I can't wait.
I know. Let's just get on Twitter right now. Let's know what's going down, down, down. Are you working on anything right now other than your gnomes?
No.
No.
Nothing.
No. Just gnomes.
My gnomes. My gnomes. I think I'm going to get my hair done this week.
Dean, we love hanging out with you. You and Dolores, you're so loyal and awesome. So we love you. Yeah, for me, I don't have anything going on right now. No, I did a day on set today, which was fun for a little TV show, which was cool. I haven't worked in a long time, so I realized that I haven't stood for many hours for a long time. I was like, whoo,
back.
This is tiring. This is tiring, having to stand on this mark
and breathe. Stand and breathe. Frank.
And like a mask, like face shield off, face shield in a bag. Like, it felt really good to be doing something other than being at my house. So I definitely had a good day today. This was fun. Yes, of course it was fun because you were part of it, Dolores. Good night, you two sexy peeps. Thanks, Bella. Thank you both. And thanks for everybody for joining us here on The Block with Reality Pop. I am going to also remind you to please join us and subscribe down over there, because Reality Pop is going to be your new hub for all things reality. And this is us on The Block till Monday. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.